Hey, what's up guys? Bassmaster Elite Series Pro, Wes Logan here. Gonna talk to you a little bit about something near and dear to my heart, and that's swim jig fishing. It's so much fun because I'm not out there, you know, looking down at a screen for 12 hours, throwing at random dots, swimming around. Like, you actually have to, it's like old school fishing, like how all the old guys came up doing it. They had to read the bank, read the water, know the water conditions, the water clarity. You need to use this color, you know, you need to go down this bank because it's got more irregularities that they can set up on. So I think that's why it's so fun nowadays, because it really allows you to do like you grew up fishing, like having to figure it out, like actually on the bank. I've kind of, over the years, I've learned what to do, what not to do, what trailers I like, what weight of the jig I like, when I like to throw this line over this line, and I'm kind of going to break that down for you. I'm going to start out really with the braid setup. This is my signature series. It's a 7.5. It's going to be a medium heavy with a little bit of a moderate fast tip. So when that fish gets it up there, you know, and I see it, and I'm bad about getting really excited, so I'll jerk really hard. That real good bend in that rod is a big deal to keep those fish from flying out of the water and landing by your boat at your trolling motor and coming off. From a line standpoint, I use the FX2 60-pound Sunline braid. It's just always been my go-to ever since I got with them a good while ago. I've never had any issues with it. You know, brings that jig through that really harsh cover really good. It's real abrasion resistant. But for the reel, gear ratio, it's gonna be a 7-to-1. It's an Arc Gravity G7. I don't like the 8. I feel like I lose a little bit of power after I get a fish on, like trying to get it out of some heavy cover. I like the 7. It's a good in-between. It's still fast enough to not wear me out during the day, but it's not too fast where I lose power. This is my signature series swim jig from Arc Fishing. We're gonna have two different sizes. We're gonna have a 5/16 and a half. I'm gonna be using the 5/16 90% of the time the way I like to fish it, which is shaking and baking, going around isolated cover, stuff like that, moving, keeping that bait up in the water column. But there is times when I would use a half, whether we're in a real clear water situation where I want it moving a lot faster, or if I'm dealing with a lot of deep stuff, maybe going down some real deeper docks, stuff like that. This has got a really good hook in it. We worked a long time on this hook. It's got a 4/0 shank with a 5/0 bite. It has that compact look to it, but you still have a big gap, a big bite with that hook. A double wire trailer keeper for whatever trailer you like to use. You know, I'll use a craw-style trailer most of the time, a Z-Craw Junior or a Zoom Super Speed Craw. The Super Speed Craw is going to be when the fish are really aggressive. When I'm around, I feel like a lot bigger size fish than average, you know, those 3 to 6 pounders. It's just a lot going on up there, those big flappers bouncing around. If I want a little bit more compact approach, or if I'm around a little bit smaller fish, that's when I'll go to the Z-Craw Junior. And I'm rigging that horizontal, a lot of times like it like this. If I ever get into a winding situation, like straight retrieving, I'll take that Z-Craw Junior and actually turn it up sideways. But I want to transition a little bit to when I would use fluorocarbon. I don't use it a whole lot, but I will use it every now and then. There are certain situations where I've seen it be a lot more productive than the braid. And normally it's in a real clear water situation, or you have fish kind of short striking your bait. So with this setup, I'll use a 7.3 mag medium heavy Arc Invoker Pro. With the jig, it's the same jig, it's a 5/16. But with the trailer, I'll actually, a lot of time I'm gonna be winding it around like straight retrieving, so that's when I'll do the horizontal deal. Line is 22-pound or 20-pound Sunline shooter. It just kind of depends on if I'm around, you know, some dock cables or some bushes, anything like that. If I can get away with 22, I like to have a bigger line. That 22 is just a good in-between. 20 and 25, you can still cast it, it's real manageable, but it's got a lot of strength and a lot of, you know, durability. Reel is the same, it's a 7-to-1 gear ratio, but there is a certain time for it where it can be really productive and in that little shy pressured fish situation. So that's kind of the wrap up on how I like to swim a jig, and I try and take this all across the country, different places. Again, whole setup, that's how it goes down. I hope this helps, and hope it helps you catch more fish.